Chrissy Teigen, A Very Sinking Narcissist, Part 12. We now leave the Mail Online and we wander over to footwearnews.com. Yes, I'm sure it's a site that many of you go to habitually. But we're going to join it, an article a few days old, around the same time as the Mail Online articles, because it tells us that Chrissy Teigen vacations in a kimono dress and the brightest take on the big toe sandal trend. Of course, more placement, an article here by Claudia Miller, utilised, obviously, as a consequence of PR placement for the assertion of control, reads as follows. Chrissy Teigen's style for her Italian getaway is peak beach attire. The model showed off her attire from her trip to Cinque Terre, Italy this morning, taking to Instagram to debut her striped kimono style dress. The colourful design comes courtesy of brand Rihanna and Nina, retailing for close to $3,000 on the brand's website. Product placement, residual benefit. When it came down to footwear, the cookbook author included another pop of colour with trending sandals. The neon heels featured a wrapped silhouette with endless straps, a stiletto heel and a loop-toe fit. Big toe silhouettes became a celebrity-endorsed style in the summer of 2019 and have since continued to appear on the likes of Katy Perry, Laurie Harvey and Katie Holmes, amongst others. Who knew? The style offers a laid-back appeal with the stability and familiarity of the 1990s. Yes, I often think that when I put a pair of shoes on. Yes. My church shoes, they give me the style and familiarity of the 1990s. What a load of fucking shite. The style offers a laid-back appeal with the stability and familiarity of the 1990s, a common theme amongst it-girl trends this season. As for Teigen herself, the trending sandals are just another addition to the model's styling vacation closet. Whilst visiting Pisa, Italy, for example, last week, the mum of two opted for a white peekaboo cutout dress with oversized shades and a surprising choice of flat shoes. As for Teigen herself, the model's own footwear and apparel closet includes an endless list of designer names such as Saint Laurent, Balenciaga, Valentino, Aquazzura, to name a few. Residual benefits through product placement. Beyond her personal style choices, the media personality previously appeared on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and serves as an ambassador for Procter & Gamble. She has modelled in campaigns for the likes of UGG, The Gap, Revolve, Key Eyewear, and more throughout her impressive career. Of course, that just reads like her resume, doesn't it? And of course, it is naturally a puff piece, which has been placed by her PR team that's been shoved to footwearnews.com so that they can talk about her favourably and that they gain some advertising revenue as a consequence of linking to her, and is just a demonstration of the assertion of control through her PR agency, a la Harry's wife, the garnering of residual benefits, reference to the brands that's been mentioned, a demonstration of the lack of emotional empathy, because the frippery and ephemeral nature of the clothing is far more important than what has actually happened to her victims, and is just a further demonstration of it. But it doesn't end there. We have yet more attempts to assert control, this time through an article of etonline.com. Even the extraterrestrial getting dragged into this clusterfuck. No wonder he wants to phone home. And the article by Rachel McRaddy, tells us Chrissy Teigen and John Legend return to site of their 2030 honeymoon. It's still magical. Again, driving down everybody's throats their supposed happiness, without a thought for the victims of her behaviour, of course demonstrating once again the absence of emotional empathy. There is a video at the head of the article which invites me to click to unmute it, but I see that Chrissy Teigen is speaking, and therefore I'm going to say, no, I'm perfectly happy for her to remain muted. I shall assert control over her flapping gums by not listening to her. The article reads as follows. John Legend and Chrissy Teigen are feeling nostalgic! ! The couple will celebrate their 8th wedding anniversary in September, but on Tuesday they revisited the site of their 2013 honeymoon, Portofino, Italy. We spent the evening in Portofino the first stop on our honeymoon in 2013. It's still magical. Heart emoji, Italian flag emoji. Legend captioned a sweet photo giving his smiling wife a kiss, provision of fuel, demonstrating he's under control. She, of course, is staring straight into the camera whilst Mr. Legend lays on the lips, the dead eyes staring into the lens, the rictus grin fixed across her face, a response to the provision of this fuel and the submission of his control. The article continues. The couple brought their 2 kids along for the Italian getaway, with Legend posing with his 5-year-old daughter Luna in the picturesque seaside town. Teigen has also been sharing photos of the couple's trip abroad. Assertion of control, sense of entitlement, lack of boundary recognition, need to draw fuel, posing on a balcony with her hubby in Florence, Italy, earlier in the week. "I love you, luckiest girl ever," she captioned the pic. She thinks that she loves him. She's a narcissist, she does not, because she has no emotional empathy. But of course, it's necessary for her to share that to her 34.9 million followers, that she does love him. Love between 2 individuals, whereas emotional empathy is a private matter. It is between those 2 people. The world doesn't need to know about it. But of course our kind need to tell you all about our supposed love, because that way we create facades. We also provoke, causing you to go, "Oh, so sweet, hun, so pleased for you, kiss, kiss, kiss," etc., and other nauseating, sugary comments, which are all a provision of fuel, of course, and signalling that control has been obtained. The article continues. She also posed in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, writing, "I feel like it's getting straighter." Oh, such witticisms, and shared a pic of her 3-year-old son Miles, happily munching on some pizza. It's been a difficult few months for Teigen, certainly with regard to the assertion of control, who has been involved in a recent cyberbullying scandal. The controversy surrounding Teigen began when a number of her tweets resurfaced in May, as Courtney Stodden alleged in a Daily Beast interview that Teigen used to send her disparaging comments on social media, malign hoovers. Teigen subsequently publicly apologised to Stodden, false contrition, calling herself an insecure attention-seeking troll. She doesn't think that in the slightest. Pity play. Took a break from her social platforms. Not a very long break, is it? And exited her role on Never Have I Ever amid the controversy. Last month, Teigen took to her social media. As I said, it wasn't a very long break, to issue a lengthy apology. In her essay, Teigen said she's in the process of privately reaching out to the people I insulted, and I've touched on all of that previously. But once again, we have an example here of the necessity of telling everybody about what she's doing. And what is interesting, of course, is that notwithstanding her behaviour towards other people, which, as many of you have demonstrated in your comments, you regard as wholly reprehensible, unpleasant and demeaning, there are those that are still following her, still liking the pictures. There is the picture of her stood by the Leaning Tower of Pisa, that has garnered 569,238 likes. It just goes to show that we not only operate in plain sight, but there are those of our kind who behave in such a reprehensible manner that people still don't get it. They still don't realise what she is. They fall into the trap, driven by a lack of understanding about narcissism, that she's made mistakes and she repents for them. Of course there'll be those that have said, "I'm not having anything to do with her anymore. I can't stand that behaviour, it's disgusting." But there are many who fall into the trap of thinking that everybody's capable of redemption. No, that's what's fed to you by film, by television, by books. No narcissist is capable of redemption. We're not designed to do it, because we don't need to. We either cannot see that there is any need for redemption, because we are unaware of what we are, or where we know what we are, we still see there's no need for redemption, because we function perfectly well as we are, and why should we change? And therefore, people fall into that trap of believing that the narcissist, or rather the individual concerned, that they don't realise as a narcissist, is genuinely contrite, is making amends. But they don't see it, do they? They don't see that this behaviour is all about her. The assertion of control, the drawing of fuel. They think, yes, she does deserve a getaway. Oh, isn't it sweet that Mr. Legend is there, popping his lips onto her cheek? They're so much in love and such cute children. Isn't it terrible that the way that people have been hating on her? She doesn't deserve that. Well, they're wrong. And of course, what people ought to be asking is, did Courtney Stodden deserve the way that she was dealt with? Of course, the answer to that is no. But that doesn't stop Chrissy Teigen going out on these pity plays, these PR exercises, the assertion of control and drawing of fuel without any due regard for her victims. They're not even the rear view mirror any longer. They long disappeared over the horizon because she simply doesn't care. And it's back to normal. There's no real hiatus from social media. It was a hiccup. And the Chrissy Teigen show rumbles on, asserting control, sending out the PR pieces, garnering the likes from the unwitting and unknowing sheep that are out there. And of course, there'll always be a rump of individuals who don't get it. But this is why it's incumbent upon you, dear listeners, to share this work, to link it, to get people to recognise so that they start to understand what's really going on. That an individual such as Teigen, who behaves in that way repeatedly, systematically and habitually, is a narcissist. And for all of the apparent repentance and contrition, it's entirely false and is just further manipulations in the pursuit of the prime aims. Now, things are starting to hot up, because as we meander our way to part 13 with regard to Chrissy Teigen, what's this coming over the hill? There's some trouble. There are some threats to Teigen's control, both in part 13 and part 14. What are they? How will she react? Join me as we explore and analyse further.